Well, hello everybody. I'm Recie Myers coming to you live, not from Richmond. I am in Suffolk, Suffolk, Virginia. And today I'm just going to talk a little bit about making an impact. Today was phenomenal for me. I came down to get my hair done. I usually get it done every 8 or 9 weeks. And so it was time to get it done. So as I was down here in Suffolk, I decided to go by and visit the schools, two of the schools where I taught in this area for 30 years. I spent about 23 years at one school and about 8 or so years at the other. Plus I had some other years experience, but it was wonderful. One of the things that I wanted to do was to find the student that I had taught in 2017 when he was in the second grade. That year, I remember I told you all that 2016 was horrible, and I was going through peaks and valleys, and suffering with some anxiety and depression. Since I'd lost my mom, and then Roland had the strokes and all that. But being faced with the possibility that Roland may or may not have recovered, I had been thinking about, okay, what if I need to take time off from school and work with, trying to help Roland to recuperate. I need to find something else that I could do from home. And so the thought occurred to me, well, maybe I can just use some of the gifts that I have. I love telling stories. I like writing stories. And so I wrote a story and I shared it with my students, the students who I was working with that year, 2017. So I shared it with the students, and I told them that I was going to retire and help out, help my husband to recuperate. One of the little students, one of the second graders, he had made frequent visits to the bookstores. He'd gone to Barnes and Nobles, he'd gone to Amazon searching for the book that I had written. And he couldn't find it. But one of my coworkers who I worked with, she came by to visit me, and she said, Clarissa, do you remember that student? He's been coming to me, asking me, where can he buy the book? And at that time, I was wallowing in, I wasn't ready. I was working on trying to find me again. And when she said that to me, I said, I told the kids that I'm going to be writing, and I need to get busy. So that was the little nudge or the kick that I needed to okay, I promised I was going to do this thing, let me do it. And so I went to school today, his school, to find him just to say thank you. So when I got to the school, I greeted some of my former colleagues. Everybody was happy to see me, and I was happy to see them. And they called out, he's now a fifth grader. They called to his classroom and asked him to come down to the office area. So he came down, and then I was standing there looking, and he looked at me, and he didn't recognize me. See, my hair I'm wearing it a little differently. And so when he recognized me, he said, Miss Myers, gave me the warmest greeting. And so I stood there and talked with him for a little bit, and I showed him, because, I have the electronic version on my phone for right now. And we didn't go through the whole thing, but I showed him the book and some of the pictures and the activities in there, and his reaction was, and he was wiping his eye. He says, I feel like I can cry, because on the front page, just before or just after the title, I can't remember, after the title page, there's a dedication page or a special thank you, and I didn't use his entire name. I said, special thanks to Aiden G for the gentle nudge needed to finish this project. So I was, my heart was full. I hugged him, and he was so eager to take me around the school to the various classrooms where some of the others, they're now fifth graders, but they're not all in the same class. So he wanted to tour me around the school. Of course, I've been at that school for a number of years, but it was so wonderful to go to the different classrooms, and Miss Myers, the greeting that I received, it was really heartwarming. And, oh, I'm sorry. Hi, Rico. Thank you. Peace and blessings to you, too. Recie. Hi, Recie. Glad that you can join me this afternoon. Roland is here, but he said, babe, you can go ahead and take care of this. Hi, Karen. Yes, it was terrific seeing you, too. Thank you so much. Yes, and I did see Miss Bronner, saw her, and that's my other colleague, a friend, because now, we live in the Richmond area, so I'm not in this area much at all. So it was good going by and seeing colleagues and friends and former students, and I titled this live, Making an Impact. Even though it's been a little over a year since I've seen them, the daily, what we go through every day, what you do, the engagement you have with people, being positive always, even though sometimes you don't feel like being positive, having that attitude is always, it has an impact on those around you. You don't know what you say, what you do, how it can affect others, and especially when you're working with kids. It's wonderful. So it was really good today visiting the area where I am. Seeing somebody else came on. Hi, Dagmar. Glad that you can join me today. I'm just sharing a little bit about the book that I had written, the children's book, which is going to be a series. This is just the first book. And one of the major lessons in this book is for children to learn how to listen to their elders, and your elders doesn't necessarily mean parents. It could be an older sibling. It can be, someone who has experienced more and knows more. Because sometimes children, not only children, sometimes we all think we know everything. But I find today some children are a little bit more stubborn and they don't want to pay attention. And so somehow, I've incorporated that lesson in the book. So it teaches little lessons in each book that I write in the series, Ian and Igor, Inquisitive Island Iguanas. Each book will have lessons for children. And especially at the back of the book with the activities, the colleagues that I've worked with, they want to make sure they get their copy, and as soon as it becomes available, right now it's in a queue. I don't know how many books are ahead of mine for printing, but that's where we are. And as soon as I know when it's ready, I will be sure to let you guys know. Hi, Karen. Thank you. Oops, sorry, I had this propped up. I don't have my regular easel here, so I was using a little prop here to keep it steady, because I have a tendency to move my hands back and forth when I talk. And all right, couldn't get it back the way it was. But anyway, I thank you for joining me today. I do have in the description a link to an ebook, because of course, an ebook is just one way you can do it. Write your own story. At the time, I didn't know about this. I used Friesen Press publishing company, and so there are a number of ways that you can write your own story, write your own book, and this is just one way that you can do it. So I do have that in the link, in the description, so that you can access that if you so desire. So Roland and I will be back on Monday. We'll be back in the Richmond area, and we'll be back at 5:30, 5:30 live. So we thank you for joining us. If there's anything that I have said that resonates with you in any way, or if you're catching the replay, be sure to press #replay and tell me where you're tuning in from. Hi, Hank. Thank you for joining me today. And so I will see you on Monday. Have an awesome, powerful, impactful weekend. Bye now.